Well, hello, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I know this is painful for us to do, but we're trying to figure out what direction is this Dallas Cowboys team going, because we really don't have a clue. It's all in the Joneses' hands, as always, and they're leaving us waiting and everything else with the Commanders game on Sunday, and literally no coach having a contract. Are we blowing it up? Are we staying pat? What are we doing? So it pains me to constantly keep listening to Jerry and Stephen Jones, but we're trying to find clues as to what's happening. Now, this is an interview with Nick Eatman and Stephen Jones for about 6 minutes. And let's go to the tape.
Cowboys Nation, I'm Nick Eatman along with Stephen Jones, Cowboys Chief Operating Officer. And we got down to the end here of 2024. We're going into 2025, one game to go. Obviously, the Philly game wasn't the way you wanted it to go. How can this team kind of wrap this thing up and on a winning note here?
Well, I think the big thing is we started off strong against Philly. I think we were moving the ball well, but unfortunately you play a team that's trying to clinch a division and you turn the ball over like we did and lose that turnover battle 4-0. On the road, you're not going to win a lot of football games. And, you know, unfortunately we did. And we were, I think, doing a nice job of moving the football. Cooper was moving the team. Rico was running the ball well. I thought our defense was doing a nice job in the first half of, you know, really getting around Saquon, which, by the way, hats off to him. What an amazing year he's had. What a professional, 2,000 yards. That rarely happens. So kudos to him and the job he's done. But anyway, I thought that first half we did, and I think, unfortunately, it just started to catch up to us. And, you know, when you're playing without a lot of your guys and things start to stack up on you, went against us. But, you know, the best way to wrap up the season is to go get a win against Washington. And certainly they're now locked in a playoff berth, and it'd be great to finish up with the home crowd here and get a big win and, you know, look to our future after hopefully getting after the Commanders.
When you look at teams like Washington's in the playoffs, you defeated them, you defeated the Steelers. You know, Tampa Bay looks in at the moment. Can you get some momentum off the fact that, hey, you know, we did play well against some of the better teams? Obviously, there were some games that didn't go your way, but, you know, when you're facing a playoff team, maybe it can give you a little bit more momentum.
Absolutely, and, you know, I think we did it with, you know, people want to talk about.
Are we going to say anything about anything?
You know, I think right now we're over 50% of our salary cap on IR. So you start to look to what the team can do in the future, and you start looking at, you know, all the guys that we'll have back next year. You know, certainly, you know, that's an optimistic feeling, but we're missing some of our best players between Dak and CD and Diggs and Zach Martin. You know, that's a good group of men that you were counting on going into the season that are all Pro Bowlers, all Pro type guys. But, yeah, I mean, certainly we feel good about this group of guys. The young guys are getting a lot of action now, and certainly that'll pay off for us, and look to have them step up and play big against Washington.
Well, obviously this was overshadowed by Barkley going for 2,000 yards, but when Rico's getting 1,000, first player in Cowboys history as an undrafted player to get to 1,000 yards. You guys are real big on undrafted free agents. You've had a lot of success there.
We love
what does that say
undrafted free agents.
About a guy like that's been able to overcome injuries and have that kind of season.
Yeah, I mean, hats off to Rico. What a great job. And, you know, it came late. I mean, it took a while for him to gel with the offensive line. We had a lot of combinations in our offensive line group. As I mentioned, Zach Martin, Tyler Gatton got banged up along the way and was splitting time there with Chuma. You know, we had to play Hoffman in and out of there, who did a really nice job, and then gelling with Rico. And for him to get accomplished and make that 1,000 yards, we still got a game left to go. You know, obviously that's very optimistic, and you know, it showed that, you know, we kept getting better, you know, as time went, and fully expect us to play well against Washington.
I know you don't want to tip your hat a little bit here, but there's a lot of talk about Trey Lance, and you had him in here, and with one game to go, do you expect maybe to see some of him, or is that something that you will just wait and see how the week plays out?
Well, I think we'll see how the week plays out, but yes,
Today's the last
we're
practice.
going to see more of him and could see quite a bit of him. So, he's obviously worked his tail off. Cooper's done a great job with this team, but at the same time, we might want to take a good, long, hard look at Trey this weekend and see what he has. We'll see how practice goes during the week. Obviously, we've stressed it, from the moment that we got a little bit behind in the playoff race that we want to win football games. And certainly we want to win the Washington game. We've had a tough road to hoe here at home this year, and love to give our loyal fans a good win against the Commanders.
And one more here. I know that free agency will happen at the end of the year. But you have a lot of free agents here. One of them, Jordan Lewis, and just the way that he's kind of fought through things. Everyone's always told him he's too short, too little to play. He's played 8 or 9 years now, and just the way he kind of battles, it seems like he's a guy that's really been somebody that you always look at and say, that's the way we want our guys to play.
Well, that's a Dallas Cowboy football player in our mind, and he's not the longest, he's not the fastest, but he's right at the top in terms of being the most competitive, uber competitor on this football team. And you're right. I mean, that's the type of guys we want to draft that go out and compete week in and week out. I know he helped set the tone with Coach McCarthy and Coach Zimmer in terms of the way we played down the stretch and remained very competitive and winning football games when a lot of teams lose their edge and go the other way. So hats off to Jordan. He's not only a leader on the field, a leader off the field. He represents, as you said, what we want when we're drafting a Dallas Cowboy. We want to think of Jordan Lewis.
Awesome. Well, we'll see how that happens when you get into the draft here next spring. All right.
Okay, so nothing there on Mike McCarthy's status. But I have to say, if they're still saying, well, we haven't decided, we'll get together on Sunday or Monday and, make decisions. I think that this game, if they can win, I think that it's a shoo-in if they win for Mike McCarthy to come back. I think if they lose or get embarrassed, that maybe that's where he goes. That's the only thing I can say. Looking at this, that makes any sense at this point. But then again, the Cowboys have not been making much sense this season. They just have not. If they're going to fire him, do it quickly and get the next person in here so they can start the process of the learning curve. All righty, good people. We're waiting to hear the Mike McCarthy press conference, so that should be going off in the next few minutes, so we'll definitely check that out. I will see you all soon. Peace.